I've been working on Dream Planner for 5 years. I've been training the principles of the Dream Planner for 30. I've been teaching people how to become successful in every single arena of life, from 17-year-old kids all the way through executive CEOs, multimillionaires. Teaching them how to make it from one level to the next, how to start basing their life on dreams, not on tasks. Because if you're vision-based and you're passion-based, your whole entire life changes. You get there a lot faster and you enjoy the process. If you're task-based, you're burdened. Tasks are burdens. Tasks are something that you weight on yourself and they just weigh you down. But if everything that you do is connected to a goal, to a dream, to an ambition, to a striving, to something that you're destined to do, you don't mind just about anything. You can suffer a lot of stuff. You can suffer a lot of the daily stuff if you're focused on a passion, if you're focused on a vision. One of the statements that I say all the time is you'll work for a paycheck, but you'll die for a vision. And we've seen it throughout all of history that when a person is impassioned, they'll work for free. An entrepreneur will work 17 hours a day for no pay. An employee needs $15 an hour minimum wage. Huge difference between the guy who's got a vision and the guy who's working. So the Dream Planner is based on the fact that if you can find your passion, I'm going to show you how easy it is to find the thing that you're divinely destined to do. If you can find that, if you can find that vibration inside of you that says, I would do this for free, then you can do it and I can show you how to make money doing it. That would be beautiful. If you can do the thing that you love to do and make your income at the same time. Perfect combination. I'm not going to be able to show you all the principles. Just in the beginning, one of the reasons that we do this is I'm going to show you enough to get started and probably enough to accomplish a whole lot of stuff. But at the end, I'm going to show you how to go to advanced training, which some of you are already part of. Some of you already got pro training for the Dream Planner. I'm going to show you how to be involved. Brainstorming is pretty simple. And the first thing you do in brainstorming is you don't use your brain. It's a weird concept. What you do is you, from your heart, you write down the things that you want to accomplish. And you use 3 different categories. And these categories are not set in stone. Skills, accomplishments, and legacy. The only reason for these points are so that you spark your ideas. Because sometimes when you put your accomplishments there, it's going to fall under skills, and sometimes your skills are going to fall under accomplishments or legacy. It's just to get you into the major 3 categories of accomplishments, of the things that you want to do. What do I want? What skill do I want to accomplish? I want to read 750 words a minute. I want to run a marathon. I want to, whatever, your skill. Your accomplishments would be, I want a college degree. I want to be able to speak on stage. I want to legacy. I want to write a book. I want to set up some orphanages. What do I want to leave behind when I'm gone? And so you start writing down from a point of not thinking, because as soon as you start thinking, you're going to think yourself out of them. In a brainstorming session, if you say, well, I want to be a doctor, and then you think, well, I'm 55, I'm too old to be a doctor. No, you're not allowed to put any ifs and buts at the end of it. If you want to be a doctor and you're 99 years old, write down, I want to be a doctor. Because there's a reason for this. There's a reason to not think. And it's to help you refine and define your true purpose in life. You're going to find that there's something underlying all of the things that you want to do. It might take 1 or 2 sessions to get through it. That's one of the reasons that most of these amazing books don't actually stick in a person's life, is because we know it takes 21 days of doing the same thing over and over again for it to start to become a habit. If you just read a book and then put the book on the shelf, how is that going to be a habit? We can take all the things we've learned in 30 years, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, all the things, of all these principles that are amazingly powerful to change people's lives. We now can take them and start applying them on every single day. And within 30 days, I've seen people write books, start companies, change their entire life in 30 days. And the difference between having it like this and just reading the book is I'm going to show you how to take it into every single day and put something in your day that weaves through your dream, until it becomes a habit and you start accomplishing stuff. I can say that because I've started over 45 companies. I've consulted thousands of people. I got 7 books that are in the process of being published. I got 200 different training materials online. Traveled all around the world. I mean, I'm studying and memorizing the entire scriptures in Hebrew. The stuff that I've done is not because I'm a superstar. It's because of the principles that I can show you. I mean, the list of my resume is so enormous, and the things that I've done, and I'm not working all the time. I'm just working my time. Big difference. When you work your time instead of working all the time, one of them is a burden. One of them will kill you. And the other one, you love every single moment of your day. When you're working in your passion, you never were working. You stop working the day you find your passion. Brainstorming. You're going to have one of two problems. And in the advanced training, I'm going to show you, if you have one of these two problems, how to fix that. And one of them is you're going to have too much stuff. You're like, page 1, page 2, page 3, I want to do 1,000 things. The other problem is a little harder to fix, is I don't have enough stuff. You're like, crickets, crickets, crickets. If you don't have anything on your list, that's a bigger problem. Because we are born to dream. From the time we were little kids, we're born to jump off the roof with a towel on our back. We are born to be the Superman. And if your dreams have been taken away from you and you can't write down your dreams, then you have dis in your life. You're broken. We got to teach you how to dream again. And that's part of the process. It's called dis. You're discouraged. You have disbelief. You have dis-ease. There's some dis in your life that we can show you how to remove it. When you remove the dis out of your life, then all of this stuff comes up. The very word dis is a Latin term. It means Lord of the Underworld. If you put Lord of the Underworld in front of your vision, you get dis-ease. If you put darkness in front of light, it changes your light. It changes your vibration. It changes your focus. So if you can find out what it is, that it gets you free. So if you don't have that problem and you have a tremendous list, then that's easy. Then we're going to go to this next step. Get over here to refine and define. What you're going to find out, not the first time you do it, maybe not the second time you do it, but the third time you do this, you're going to see that there's a theme as you start knocking off stuff off your list. We had a friend, the first time we ever did this, we had a friend who was in the room. We had 15 people. I was teaching in corporate America. I was teaching time management for one of the largest companies on the planet. And we were doing time management and we were doing project management for the largest construction company in the world. It's called Bovis Lend-Lease. And I was implementing some of these principles of project management and how to use your time wisely and how to use your resources and all this stuff. And I said, you know, this stuff that we can take it into vision planning for individuals and teach them how to do the same thing that they're doing in corporate America, but on a passion level instead of a task level. So we did our first lesson. The results were phenomenal. One kid, 17 years old, said, I want to start a company. 30 days later, he started a company. He was in eBay. I showed him how to do the eBay business. He took over his industry. We took over that whole entire area of that particular product, knocked everybody else off of eBay. Woman in the room says, I want to write a book. And she figured it'd be 10, 15 years. 30 days later, she had her book published. It was on Amazon. It went notoriety. Her book's an amazing little poetry book. 30 days, not 10 years. Because I showed her how to take the things that she wanted to do, break it down into small size bites, and knock it out in no time at all. Once you learn how to do this, you can decide to start a company, write a book, speak on stage, make $1 million, because it all comes down to one simple thing. The big task broken down into small little elephant bites, apply your day to the bites, and you'll build an elephant. If you notice in your dream planner, you're going to have another little mark down on the bottom that says, who am I? On the brainstorm page. Somewhere on that page, you should have a who am I. It's your fourth category. As you start to dream and as you start to plan, in addition to this, in the back of your mind, and in a little tiny line down here, you want to start defining not just what you do, but who you are. And not who you are to you, but who you are when you leave the room. Because we have the ability to change environments. We have the ability to tell people who we are, and when we leave, they talk about us. You know they talk about you because you talk about them. When they leave the room, you're saying, well, he is, she is, blah, 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 whatever it is. They all have a story. And there's a common story in certain personality types. You know who you are. Well, he's a great achiever, or he's too obnoxious, or he's whatever. You can decide as you go into engaging with people and with companies and with organizations and wherever you go, you can decide this is who I want to be to people. Most people don't define that. And so they allow their personalities, their strengths and their weaknesses to determine that. And you don't have to do that. You can be in control of that picture. Your brand, your story. And I put that down here as a sub-item because it's part of this, but it's not primary. Primary is this book is for this purpose. But as you're doing this, realize that you can be in control of that brand. You can be in control of what people say when you leave the room. This is not thinking, this is thinking. Page number 1 is you're not allowed to think. Put down as much stuff as you possibly can. After the second or third session, you're going to find there's actually a theme, that some of these things are actually saying the same thing. They're not the same thing, but they are giving the same type of result. For instance, I want to be a doctor, I want to do missionary work, I want to help kids, I want to do inner city stuff, I want to write books for kids, and you realize there's this thing in your heart for kids, that it wasn't necessarily about being a doctor. You put that in there because you thought that was, but it's actually echoing that one core thing. Now, initially, you might not know what that is, but as you do this and you start refining and defining and come back to it, you're going to start seeing your divine, your story. You're going to see your thing. And after a couple years of doing it, you're going to have it so crystal clear, it's going to be on your business card. This is who I am. My goal is to help you find and fulfill your destiny. That's my goal. And it was on every list. Every time I made one, it was in there. And I didn't know it until I continued to refine it and continue to refine it. That's all I want to do. I want to get you and find out what it is that you're divinely inspired to do. And I want to help you get there. That's what I want to do. If you're free, the list should be enormous, which is okay, because you'll be surprised how much time you have. When you start using your time wisely, you'll be surprised how much you can get off your list. This can be 3 pages long, and you can probably accomplish most of it. All of us are still young enough to accomplish 3 pages of this kind of goal. So you take this list. Here's where you start thinking. Start taking some of the stuff on your list, and you move it over here. And this is called refine. You take the items that are number 1 for you. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. Number the things on your list. This is a number 2. This is a number 3. This is a number 3. This is a number 3. And you take all the number 1s and you move them over here. Anything that doesn't qualify as a number 1 is a number 2. Anything that's not a number 2, you can completely ignore, because if it's not important enough for you to put a 2 or a 1 on it, you should probably not have it be a distraction. Because if you don't care enough about it to make it a priority, if it's really not that big of a deal, but it might be later, don't let it continue to go in your head. It's a ping pong ball. Bounces around your head, hitting every corner, distracting you from your true goals. Knock off the big stuff. You'll get to that later. So we don't worry about that stuff. What does that mean? Exactly. The more crystal clear your vision is, the more crystal clear, the more easier it is for you to get there. Because you're shooting for a goal. You're shooting for a thing. The more specific it is, the easier it is for you to define the necessary help to get there and for you to help find the path to get there. If it's just live in a nice house, nobody can help you with that. They don't know what that means. And when you're going to need help, you're going to have your vision crystal clear. Assistance. You're going to need a team to help you do these things. It's a lot easier than you think. So you crystallize your vision. Refine and define is the next step. Take all the number 1s, put them over here, and write them down. You're then going to have 3 different stages. You're going to have 3 different things. And I'm not going to take this hour to give you full detail, but I'm going to give you enough to get you going. You're going to have 3 different types of things. Some of the stuff you can start right away. You know exactly what it takes, and you know exactly how to get there. You know, you got the guitar books, and you got the guitar. And you know, I have to practice this much every single day. And so you figure out that you can actually just take that and start moving it into the other pages, and you can start charting out how long it's going to take for you to become a great guitar player. Starting a business might be a little bit more complicated. That's something that you're going to need some more information. So now we have item number 2. I want to start a business. I want to make $1 million a year. You're crystal clear exactly how much you want to make. You might even know exactly what type of business. Before you can say, start charting your course, before you can start taking this stuff and breaking it down into daily increments, you're going to need some help. You're going to have to talk to somebody who makes $1 million a year in the same kind of business that you're making, or you'll be wasting your time. You'll be spending all your time trying to figure out something that might not even be possible. So if you have a goal, you find someone else who's doing it, and then you help them. Either go buy the book, go talk to the person, go get a mentor, figure out what it's going to take. You want to make $1 million in network marketing? Find someone who has not just made $1 million in network marketing, but taught someone else to make $1 million in network marketing. Because just because somebody can do a knockout punch, just because Muhammad Ali was the greatest in the world, doesn't mean he's good enough to train somebody to be the greatest in the world. Find somebody who can teach you the magic sauce, or at least tell you how to get there. Now you've taken this, which is a little bit vague, and you've turned it into one of these, and now you can start charting your course. You can start taking the things that it's going to take and breaking it out into daily nuggets, bites, and you can start weaving it in through your month. And so let's say your goal is, I want to read 750 words a minute. Pretty easy to do. Take you 45 days, 20 minutes a day. That's all it would take. And so if you find somebody who knows that, and they can show you the book or the training to get there, 750 words, you say, okay, 20 minutes a day, 45 days, I can commit to the next 45 days, 20 minutes a day. You know exactly when you're going to be reading 750 words a minute. That's how easy every one of these processes are. Once you can define the path to get there and you commit to the path, put it on your chart. That's what these monthly charts are for. Put it on your chart and you can say, such and such a day, circle the day, this day I'll be doing this. I'll be playing guitar, I'll be speaking on stage, I'll be making $1 million, I'll be writing my first book, I'll be whatever it is. Once you've defined what it is, you just put the time in and exactly what it's going to take to get there. Of course, every person is going to be a little bit different. Some are going to be a little faster, some are going to be a little slower. If you're like me, it's going to take a little bit longer to get to the 750 words a minute because I'm not that smart. I'm actually a little slower than most people.
I don't believe it.
The reason is because I work harder than everybody else. It's because I look smarter because I work harder. Einstein said, I'm not any smarter than you. It's just I stay with the problem longer than you do. He recognized there was no thing special about his genius. That he had two special things, but we don't have time to talk about that. He had two special things that made him a genius, and any one of us could have it. Everybody in the room could be a genius if you just learn those two simple things, which you can put on a chart. I want to be a genius. Find out how Einstein taught, and other geniuses will teach you. Go find somebody with an IQ of 182 who's taught other people to improve their IQ. Learn what they learn. You can become smarter. You don't have to be the dumb guy your whole life. But some people have to work harder. When I read a book, I don't get it like some people. I don't have a photographic memory. I'm not that smart. I have to read the same paragraph 3 or 4 times sometimes. I'm just like everybody else. When I read that paragraph, a new programming language, my brain says, duh, just like yours. The only problem is, duh doesn't distract me. It doesn't slow me down. I go back and read it again because I'm committed to the process. I'm committed to winning this thing. I'm going to win. And so it seems like I'm smart because I don't quit. I'm not really that smart. So once you figure it out, so you got 2 things. One thing is you know exactly how to get there and how much time it's going to take. You chart your course, boom, you got it done. Number 2, you don't know, find out what it's going to take, find somebody who's doing it, get that information, turn that into one of these, and now you have more information. The third type is something that's a little bit more complicated. There's steps. You kind of know this one, you don't know this one at all, and you don't even know what this one is. You don't even know what you don't know. Here's, I want this goal, but it is so vague. I have no idea what it's going to cost me. I don't know how much time it's going to take. I don't even know anybody who knows. And so you have a little bit of a loftiness here in your goal. You have to turn these into this, and then turn this into this. In other words, you go find somebody who could help you. Say, I want to be a neurosurgeon. Well, how long of school do you have to take? How it's going to take to get there? What kind of financing do I need? All those questions are unanswered. You don't know what it takes to be a neurosurgeon. Go get the questions. You're in stage number 1. You have to spend the time to ask the questions until you have these defined. Once these are defined, once these are defined, every single one of them, you can then turn them into this, turn these into this, and then put it on your chart, and you can become a neurosurgeon. I'm 56 years old. If I want to be a neurosurgeon, I'm going to be a neurosurgeon. I can do whatever I want to do. If I want to be a lawyer right now, I'm not too old to be a lawyer. I go find somebody, show me how to do it. I go do it. I don't want to be a lawyer. The price, once you find out, you're going to actually get from here to here, and you're going to move stuff from here to here, and you're going to realize, okay, I don't want to pay that price. The amount of hours that it takes, the amount of commitment that it's going to take, I don't want to pay that price, but I still want this. And so this is when the magic starts to happen. When you start to define these things, as you go through this process, some of this might seem a little more complicated than it really is, but as you go through the process, it's going to naturally take on a life of its own. It's going to, as you do this once a month, once every 6 months, you're going to realize that the stuff you moved over here was not as important because you didn't want to pay the price for it. But the effect, so you may not want to be a doctor, but you can get the same effect by volunteering. You can be a volunteer in a hospital because it's the care for other people that you wanted. It wasn't the paycheck. It wasn't the DR in front of your name. And so what happens is you realize that I can get the same effect doing it slightly different, and you start to find your divinity. You start to find what we call your purpose and your passion in life. You get the same things with going a different avenue. I'll give you an example. I was a photographer. When I was 21 years old, I was in the dark room every moment of every day. If I was awake, that room was closed, lights were off, and I was in a dark room. I loved photography. I was taking pictures of everything, all the time, in every direction. And so I was in a dark room day and night. I thought I wanted to be a photographer. And I thought I wanted to be a professional photographer. And so I became a professional photographer. Started photographing weddings, and anything that would pay me, I would start taking pictures of it. I hated it. Doing it as a job was terrible. Hated it. What I loved was the creative side of photography. I didn't like the business side of photography. So as you start refining and defining what that looks like, you're actually it's going to help you come back to, well, what is it that you love? It's going to help you define your brainstorming. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know that you would hate photography or programming or help desk until you get there. Until you talk to the right people and start asking the right questions. Start investigating on your future. Start investigating the possibilities of your future. What is it in the psychology of a human being to change? What is it in your mind, in your processes, that actually cause you to move from inactivity to radical change? Because that's what we want. It's no fun to just make little changes. It's no fun to, take 2 strokes off your golf game. It's fun to go for the green jacket. It's fun to win. Second place is the first loser. So you actually want to go out there and win. And what does it take to be impassioned, to wake up without an alarm clock? Go to sleep when you're tired, wake up when you're done, and do whatever you want to do and enjoy your day. That's the goal. How do you do that? How do you become so impassioned? This is the key. This is the way to get there. You start finding your goals and start moving them into your day. You start weaving into your day the things that impassion you, the things that inspire you, the things that make you move from one city to another. First thing you do is you put your top 2 things. What are the top 2 things I either need to get rid of or add to my life? And you can be one or the other or both. These 2 things I need to get rid of. I need to get rid of my tax burden. I need to get rid of my stinky old dog. Top 2 things. What are the 2 things that I want to change? What are the 2 things that I need to get done? These are your priorities. These are the things that you want for these 30 days that you would like to see accomplished and change in your life. The next thing is, what are my big goals? Big goals are things that you took from your previous planner, from your day, and you've moved them over into, and so what you're doing is you're reminding yourself that something during these 30 days I'm going to give some attention to. What happens with big goals is because they're so enormous, people leave them off the chart until they have time to do it, and they never have time to do it. So if you continually take your big goals and put them in your month, you start knocking away at it, knocking away at it, knocking away at it. Don't let the big goals scare you. You want to put those in first. Big rocks go in first. If you've ever seen that example, big rocks go in first. People. In a dream planner, you need people. You need a team. You need people that you're going to influence, and you need people that are going to influence you. There's this synergy of relationships. The most successful people in the world have this network of people. You've got to have people. I don't care if you're an introvert. Get over it. Get over it. You need people. Who do I need in my life? And you don't have to start off with being life of the party. I understand. You don't want to be life of the party. Start off with, who do I want to influence? What types of people do I want to influence? This is going to change. This is probably going to be one of the things that change the most radically in the first 6 months. You're going to see the types of people that you're attracted to and the types of people you want to attract. That's going to change as you start moving forward. Can't explain all the psychology of that here. But that's going to change. But put down the people that you want to influence or the people you want to be influenced. Ping pongs. A lot of our emotional energy is spent on the things that we don't have time for or are not committed to. Mowing the grass was a perfect example. You get up in the morning, the grass is overgrown, you think, oh man, I need to mow the grass. That's an emotional drain on you to think of something that you're not getting done. You're frustrated, you're embarrassed because the neighbors are looking, your wife's mad at you, you're over mowing the grass. I mean, just one little thought in your head when you're driving out of the driveway has taken some emotional energy, taken some passion out of your life over something as dumb as mowing the grass. Or paying your taxes, whatever. You're putting something off that doesn't need to be put off. Ping pong balls. When you come home at night, the grass still isn't mowed, and so what do you think? Oh man, you need to mow the grass. And then the next morning and the next afternoon and the next morning and the next afternoon until you finally get somebody to come over and mow the grass. Instead, write down what the ping pong ball is. I'm going to mess up my paper here. Write down grass, write down taxes, write down ping pong balls. The moment you write those down, you should immediately transfer them into a day of the week or the day this month that's going to be taken care of. And what happens is, if you say, little Jimmy's going to come over Friday afternoon, I'm going to call him up right now, little Jimmy, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he's going to come over and mow the grass. Tuesday, when you get in your car and you're driving out and the grass isn't mowed, are you going to think about mowing the grass again? It's already taken care of. Even though it's not done yet, and your neighbors are still mad at you. You're not going to get it done any sooner. Friday afternoon, little Jimmy's coming over and mowing it. You stop thinking about it. It stops being an emotional drain on you. You want to get rid of those. And this starts to happen. You're going to find out that you have hundreds of these. You have ping pong balls all day long. Things, people that you should take care of, things that you should take care of, things that you should do, things that you forgot, people that you didn't forgive. I mean, just thousands of little things. These are ping pong balls, and you're going to see them show up as you go through each month. And eventually, you're going to start finding a measure of peace in your life because all of the urgent that's not important is taken care of. It's wiped off your list, and you're now free to start dreaming and thinking and enjoying your drive and enjoying your day. Your emotional energy, your dynamic person starts to come alive because it's not being inundated with ping pong balls. Influence. Start taking the people list and moving them down here on influence. These are the people I want to reach, contact, reach, contact, reach, contact. Change. These are the things that I want to change about me. You can't change anybody else. These are the things I want to change. I want to become better at this. I want to become faster at this. I want to become, these are the things that you're going to change. These are the primary goals. You make a list. You do the same thing that we did on the previous page. This little box right here. You put a number 1, put a number 2, put a number 3. Things that you want to change, you put a number 1, you put a number 2, you put a number 3. If it's a number 2 and a 3, cross it off, focus on number 1s. Because those become ping pong balls. Those things that are 2 and 3 that are in your heart that says, I would like to have this or I would like to change that, when you realize that right now is not the time for it. I had a guitar. I wanted to play guitar. It sat in the corner. Every time I walk past the guitar, I'm thinking, man, I should be practicing the guitar. I bought that guitar. I should be practicing the guitar. Until I put it on the list, and I realized for me to play to the measure, once I defined it, for me to play to the measure that I wanted to play, I didn't just want to strum and chase the neighbor cats away. I wanted to actually play the guitar. And so the amount of time that it was going to take for me to play to the measure that I wanted to, when I defined it, I didn't have the time. I was not committed to that much time. So I was able to cross that off the list, pack it up in a box, and stick it in the closet until I can take it out and I have the time to do it. It stopped being a negative harassment. Now it's a nice little pretty display that doesn't bother me. We do that 1,000 times. A lot of things that we think we should be doing, those are negative emotions, those are negative vibrations in your heart that are causing you to be less passionate and less able to find the things you want to do. Start killing those things. So 1, 2, and 3. Cross off the 2, cross off the 3, keep the number 1s. And then, if you can actually define what you're going to spend time and focus on, or the people that you're going to spend time and focus on, start taking those people and putting them into the month. If I really want to do that, who am I going to call? I'm going to call so-and-so, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to talk to so-and-so this day. I'm going to actually put it on my chart. I'm going to start scheduling it out. And you're going to start accomplishing the things in a very short amount of time. You're going to start seeing things that you thought you would never, ever get to in the first 30 days. And they're the important things. You've defined what the important things are. Now you start being passionate. I was like, wow, I'm a go-getter. I'm an accomplisher. I can do stuff. And you start setting these milestones for yourself and proving yourself effective. On the beginning of each month, at the end of each week, and on the first page of your document is this thing called Doodle Your Life. I do an entire training series that's part of the pro session of this called Paint Your Life Amazing. The psychology of dreaming by doodling. Drawing a picture that is your future. Draw the book that you're going to write. Draw you standing on stage with exactly 10,000 people, little circles, and the number 10,000 next to it. I'm speaking in front of 10,000 people. Standing in front of your bank, writing a check for $1 million, whatever it is. You're going to start drawing a picture. And it doesn't have to be a beautiful painting, and nobody has to see it. It's not about making something that's beautiful. It's about taking a picture, because you don't do anything unless you see it first. If I can get you to visualize it, if I can get you to see it, this is the fastest way to get you to see it. If you can visualize, it's one thing to sit around and visualize something. It's another thing to start drawing it. There's something magical about a piece of paper and a pencil that when you actually draw it down, instead of telling a story or painting it online, I don't know what it is, but I know that it's powerful. And you see it in every single study, in every single industry, that if you write your vision and make it plain, you will be more likely to accomplish it. It's the only difference between the 1%ers and the 3%ers, is they write their vision down. And so this doesn't have to be a verbal one. You can write it down verbally, if words, but it'd be better if you write it in pictures, because it's the picture in your heart that you're striving after. You see yourself married before you ask her to marry you. You see yourself making $1 million. You see yourself buying that car, driving that car, winning that lottery. You wouldn't be buying a lottery ticket if you didn't see yourself, woohoo, you wouldn't do it. So, so put your woohoos right here. This is where you start drawing. And you get into the habit. I put it on every single week. When you have to look at the end of each week, it's down at the bottom of every single page. It is so important that if you did nothing else but once a week draw this, it would transform your life. It seems like the silliest thing in the whole book. By most people, you know, I'm going to doodle. I'm going to draw little pictures of myself standing in front of it. It is the most important thing you can do. The other stuff will actually be a result of that. If you tell yourself a story, you could probably figure out everything else. If you would actually fall in love with your story, you'd figure out the rest of the stuff. But I'm just showing you. This has the potential to sell 10 million copies of this book just next year alone. Easily 30 million in the next 5 years. Because it's tied to so many successful processes, so many successful books. 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. All the books that people have liked on their Facebook page. That's our audience. The people who want these things but don't know how to implement them. We could easily sell 30 million copies of this. And so one of the things that I've noticed in just the last 2 months of selling it, there's something that's happened that I've only seen happen 2 other times in my other businesses. A person buys it and starts to implement it. They buy 3 copies. That's pretty crazy. That means something's happening. That means the people are getting it to the point where they're not just getting the vision for themselves, they're getting the big picture. And I have people calling me from all over the country, how can I become a certified coach of being a dream planner? I'm like, I never thought about certified coaches. They're telling me. My customers are telling me they want to be certified coaches. And so we're going to have a coaching program. We're going to teach people as they start implementing this because it's changed so many thousands of people's lives already. If I can teach you guys how to become a certified coach and then coach people, bring them into the pro training and make money, you know, help build your business, whatever it is, and coach people to become successful. How many employers wouldn't want their employees to be driven and purpose-filled, especially in network marketing? You know, if you're an entrepreneur and you're not afraid of other entrepreneurs, how much more would you want them to be impassioned to reach their dreams and teach them to do it and just incorporate this in everything that you do? Or teenagers. I got a homeschooling program that's going to go out to the whole entire world next month, the homeschooling version for parents and kids to work together on their dreams and their ambitions instead of the opposition that we currently have in teenagers and parents. Teach them how to apply dream and passion in our collaboration instead of frustration and crisis. Not only is it important for you to understand what to do, it is just as important for you to know what to not do. Too many people are distracted. They lose traction. Distracted. They lose traction because of the things that are taking them off. The things that they're doing that they don't have to do. You do not have to watch that sitcom. You don't. It's not helping you. It's a waste of your time. You don't have to take the drama of Sister Mary so-and-so. You don't have to take her drama. You don't have to listen to the voices of the people that are having crisis. You don't have to do it. I know you think you do. You feel obligated because that's what your mom and your dad and your generations have told you. You don't have to do it. What do I need to stop? Put at least 2 things every month. I need to stop doing this. I need to stop eating Twinkies. Stop something. It can be health, it can be spiritual, it can be whatever. Stop, start focusing on a little bit of time. You don't have to spend a lot of time because it's actually better to spend most of your time on the things that inspire you and not on the things that distract you and the things that are distracting you. But you do want to actually say, okay, this is a distraction. I can cut this off. I can eliminate 12 hours a week if I just turned off dumb television, which is 99.9% of it, dumb television. Just stop watching TV. Stop browsing Facebook like this. 12 hours a day. Stop. This one. This is one of my favorites. Voice. You talked about it earlier. This is an opportunity for you to at least once a week reparent yourself. Voice into yourself who you are. Because you've been telling yourself the story that so-and-so told you on the playground. You've been telling yourself the story that my dad left me, my mom slapped me, my girlfriend left me, I'm a loser, I'm a whatever. You keep telling yourself that story. Stop. You've actually made it your story. Revoice yourself. I am amazing. I can do anything. I can accomplish the world. I can make $1 million. Start telling yourself the story. Write down on here. Here's what should happen. If you're writing stuff in here and it doesn't embarrass you, then you're not doing it right. You should actually be embarrassed the first time you start hearing yourself say it. That should be the emotional response. Like, but I'm not that. Good. That's the right voice. That's the one you should be saying. The thing that says, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, I'm terrific, that means you're doing the right thing. It should actually be an embarrassment, especially when you start saying it out loud. To hear yourself say things that your other voice has been telling you for years. I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough. No, I'm better, I'm great, I'm amazing, I can accomplish. You start telling yourself the story until it stops being a pain, then you need to come up with some more voice. Make the voice bigger. Make it so that it's painful. Every single week, there's a little quote down here. Some of them are mine, some of them are just anonymous, some of them are some of the leaders of industry. In the beginning of the week, and once a day, look over at that quote. Not to make fame of this person, but to take this principle of success and make it your own. You should at least once in the week rewrite that quote so that it's your own. Take the very thing that they said. I don't steal my quotes, I don't care.
I'm sorry.
Take the very thing that they said, rewrite it in your own words, put your signature underneath it, and post it out on Facebook. Make that quote yours. Marry the principles of success. Make them your own thing. It's not plagiarizing. There is nothing new under the sun. You didn't steal anything. They got it from somebody else. So just change a few words so it's not illegal. Just change it. Make it your own story. Make this a quote that you believe in. Have this become yours. That's one of the things. I have this big old fat quote book that I've been going through for years. And I read quotes all the time. These little tiny phrases and nuggets that you can just meditate on for a few minutes and say, wow, this guy spent time to write down this 2-sentence phrase. And it's something that he meditated on, that he thought on, that it transformed his life to such a degree that he was going to write that down. There's got to be a pony in there somewhere. There's got to be more to it than just that phrase. Don't just, oh, that was a nice saying and repost it on Facebook. Think about it. Meditate on it. What does it mean? How does that apply to my life? These are words of greatness. These are words of inspiration and change. Make them become your own. It causes you to become that person. As you start echoing these words that are inside your soul, you become that guy. Simple. This is when you start taking refine and define and start measuring it out. I said 3 hours a day, guitar. Which 3 hours? Those 3 hours, these 3 hours, these 3 hours, these 3 hours, these 3 hours. I can get to playing guitar, reading 700 words a minute, whatever it is, but just knocking it out for the number of days that I said I was going to do it. Make sure you commit to the plan, and you'll be accomplished. That's the easy part. Top of the page, you're going to see two things that are unique to this planner. There's no days mentioned under here. Here's the week, January 29th to February 4th, but I don't put 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm leaving that for you. Here's why I want you to do that. Every day, it's the last one you'll ever get. You will never again have today. You need to think about that. Every day, when you write down 29, I am never going to have this day ever again. I'm going to spend it. I'm going to use it. It's my day. Don't waste this day. And so when you put 29 down here, you should be thinking, this is the only 29 I'm ever going to have. What am I going to do with today? And start valuing your time. It's the most precious thing you have. And if you don't think about it, you let it go because everybody else is letting it go. It's just normal. Oh, it's just another day, another week went by. Well, how many books did you write last month? Books. Books? You with an S. Yeah. How many books did you write last month? Tasks and goals. The difference between a task and a goal should be pretty simple. These are things. These are actual event things, moments that I can actually put up here as a schedule. The difference between a task and a goal, I can't necessarily put this in an hourly schedule. Like I have a goal of finishing chapter 12. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take me to do chapter 12, so it's a goal. It's something that I want to do. I want to do that this week sometime. I want to finish chapter 12. And as the week goes by, I want to continue to look down. If it's a number 1, I want to start weaving it into my day and start attempting to accomplish that goal. Tasks are very simple, especially if you put a 1 or a 2 next to it. You can actually put it on the day that you're going to knock it out, and that gets knocked off. And the tasks, the things that most people don't like, start getting knocked off pretty quick, and you don't have them next week. They're not just dragging behind you. It's like, dragging a tractor full of dead bodies. Once you start knocking them off, your load gets lighter. Your day becomes easier. You're knocking off the tasks. Goals. And then draw your story. Again, paint your life amazing at the end of each week. At the end of every month, or the beginning of each month, you're going to find this little page right here. Right there. It says last month, next month. And basically, it's going to give you places to paint your entire month again. And then what did I accomplish last month? This is a point of you're going to basically doing two things. In the psychology of a human being, you need to be inspired. You need to have some guru slap you upside the head and say you're not good enough. And then you need to have somebody stand next to you and give you a hug and say you're doing a great job. You need to have both of those things in your life, right? As a coach, don't you give people both of those?
Yes, I do.
You have to have both. And it's the yin and yang of inspiration, that you don't have to wait for somebody else to do it. That's what this in between the month does. What did I do right? Good job, attaboy. You need to give yourself a gold star, pat yourself on the back, say, okay, I did a great job. I accomplished more this month than I've done my whole life. Attaboy. Keep on going. And then you write down the things that you didn't do so well. You know, I could have done that better. I could have done this better. I could have done that better. I didn't spend that much time. Probably didn't need to marathon that TV show or spend that much time on Facebook. I probably could do that better. And so you have both. And it's okay that you have enough encouragement to keep going and you have enough discouragement to stop doing the things you don't want to do. And so that month, that chart gives you both of those. And so you start your next month new. It's brand new, clean slate. Let's go over. Let's do this again. And every month becomes an impassioned plea towards your own destiny. You're actually parenting, co-laboring with yourself to accomplish great things. Something weird is going to happen. People are going to be attracted to you. It's a sub-effect of you becoming great. People are going to say, what is happening? Or could you help me with? Or I notice, and they're going to automatically, they're just going to see it. They're going to see that you are the person. That person that you're looking for, you suddenly become that person. And they're going to start coming to you, and it's going to increase your sphere of influence, and you're going to have more people come into your life. Some people call it the law of attraction, universal attraction, whatever it is. I don't think it's that mystical. I think everybody's already looking, and when they see it in you, they recognize it. There's a similar vibration. I don't think the universe is plotting to do good or bad to you. I think that's a story that the mystics made up. I absolutely believe that when you're driving a new Volkswagen, you see other Volkswagens that you never saw before. They were always there. Nothing mystical about it. And that's the nature of achievement. People who want to achieve, when the teacher is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. It just happens. It's really not supernatural. It feels supernatural because you start drawing influence. I got a few minutes left. I'm actually do something that you've probably never seen before. Yep, I could do magic. I could hypnotize you too, but I won't do that. I'm going to do the stack. But I'm going to tell you I'm doing the stack, because most people do the stack and they don't tell you you're doing it. You ever hear of the stack? Yeah. It's actually a sales process that's being taught all over the internet right now. That if you run an ad and somebody comes to your ad and you want them to sell something, you bring them to a free webinar, and during the webinar you do the stack. You tell them, okay, for you to continue in a relationship with me and you want to buy this thing, you start doing the stack. And there's a psychology behind it. You've seen it on TV commercials. As seen on TV for just $19.95. And it's not all. You get two.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's actually done in a 90-second commercial, but they do it online now. But there's a reason that they do it. There's a reason they do it because there's a psychology behind it and it works. I paid a lot of money to learn the stack. But I hate doing the stack. That's why I'm going to tell you I'm letting you in on it. I hate doing the stack because here's the crush for me. I don't want to manipulate anybody into anything. I hate that. I hate having somebody buy something or do something because they were manipulated into it. I want it to be of value to you. But here's the thing. If I don't say it in the way that the stack says it, you're going to miss out on some pretty cool stuff. Because if I were just to say, hey, come join my program for blah, 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 you'd be like, oh, okay. You won't do it. But if I stack it and I show you the stack, you're like, wow, that's a great value. I need to sign up right now. So I'm actually going to do the stack. I have 10 minutes. I'm going to do a quick little stack for you. It normally takes 30 minutes. I'm going to do a quick little stack. I'm going to show you what I have to offer, be part of the Dream Planner. I'm going to show you the psychology behind the stack. So if you ever want to do it, you can actually do it. You want to sell something online, this is how you sell it. All right, I have a program in my back office called Dream Planner Pro. It is everything that I've taught you in advanced level. Lesson after lesson, hour after hour of every single nuance of exactly what it's going to take to do the brainstorming. If you're stuck, to be part of a community of other people that are doing the same thing, you're going to see hours and hours. I actually have 3 programs that I sell. Here's the first part of the stack. Watch this. I have 3 programs that I normally sell for $200 a piece. So I actually do have in the back office Charting Your Course. It's a program that I've sold for years. Dream Planning and my Advanced Dream Planner program. And in that, they sell for separate packages. I've been selling through Unlimited Profits and through all these other companies for hundreds of dollars for years. And so I put all those things together in a way that it works with the Dream Planner. So you can see all the principles behind it. So this is the first part of the stack. You say, oh, wow, that's pretty good value. You give me $600 worth of stuff.
You're talking really fast.
I know.
Okay.
I only got 9 minutes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to follow you.
You'll get it, because none of the numbers are important. The stack's important. I have a community of dream planners, people that are using this in every single arena of life. They're using it for homeschooling, they're using it for their marriages, they're using it for their business, they're using it for team building. There's a community of people that we share each other's dream plannings and advice and help. That's easily worth 20 bucks a month or $200 a year. I'll give you a whole year's worth of that. So here's the stack. So this is what I'm doing. I'm adding value. I take this Dream Planner Pro. Of course, I'm not going to sell it to you for $600 and plus $200. Of course, I'm not going to do that. And you guys already know that because you've watched the TV commercial, right? But I'm stacking. I'm giving you value on top of value. Well, in reality, those things really are worth that much money. I could sell them separate for those things. So it's not really a lie. Most people, when they stack it, it really is a lie. They've never sold it for that kind of money. They're just stacking value to give you a psychological thing that's saying, you know, it's worth 10 times what I'm going to charge you. Because that's the goal. 10 times, that's the number, that's the magical number. You actually, when you get to the end of this, you want a number that says, for $2,700 worth of value, but for you today. And then you're going to come up with a number. So you need the training for the back office, you're going to get the community for the back office, you're going to get an affiliate program. If you ever want to sell the books, the training, or anything else, you get 50% of everything you sell by using our affiliate link. And a bunch of other stuff. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying. It's advanced training. It's really cool. When you're coming down to the end, I don't need to stack it. You guys know the value. It changed your life. If you were to do just one thing, just one, write your first book, speak on stage, make $500,000, change your relationship with your teenagers, it'd be worth $2,000, but not for you, not today. So here's what you got to do. You got to take that number and you got to knock it down to $197, one-time fee. But that's not all. Here's the other number. You can't use $199.99 anymore. That's a bad number. You know that used to be the number? $29.99 used to be the number. And because it couldn't be 30 bucks. $30 was too much money. $29.99, wow, I'm getting a deal. So now, because people are so used to $29.99, you can't use a 9 anymore. You have to use $197. Everything you see on the web is $47, $27, $197. That's the new number. What's really weird is, what's the difference? The difference is I have to sell it for $197 because my customers won't buy it unless I do. It's the weirdest thing. If I sold it for $201, I would sell 1%. If I sell it for $197, 27% of everybody who shows up on my webinar buys it for $197. If I change it to $3, they don't buy it. Isn't that crazy? It's the craziest thing. The human psychology in sales. It's just goofy. So that's what I did. I priced it at $197. You get all this stuff. You get the Dream Planner Pro. You get all the training, $197. And that's not all. As we go forward, for anybody who wants this, I am going to do my homeschool training. You know, when I do a homeschool curriculum version, and I do the relationship version, and I do the business version, which I'm probably going to sell for the same price. As I release these, anybody who buys in at this price gets all those for no charge. And as we continue to grow this thing, the people who start off with me, because it's only the second month I've been doing the Dream Planner, the people who buy in at the $197 price, as we continue to build, which I'm never going to do. I really am never going to do that. As I move forward, I'm going to be selling these things as separate packages. And if a person wants the homeschool version, they're paying $200 for the homeschool version. But as you move forward, it's $197. And now this is where you put the pressure on. Say, this is a one-time offer. Actually, it's not a one-time offer, but I'm supposed to say that. This is a one-time offer, $197. And if you want to buy it, see, here's the other thing. If I didn't say it was a one-time offer and people didn't believe me, I'm going to lose 30% of all my sales if I don't make it have a feeling of urgency. I hate that. I hate that you actually have to do that. But it's just the way it works. Sad to say. If PayPal Bill Ebert. If you want to do this with me, that's how you do it. You go to paypal.me/Bill Ebert, pay $197, and I'll give you full access to the training. So there's your stack. That's how you stack. That's how you sell stuff, whether you like it or not. That's how it works. So write that down, or go on your phone, send $197 to Bill.
So it's just the one time, 197?
That's it. And you get all the training, you get the full access to everything.
Forever and ever?
Forever and ever, no matter how many times I build, add stuff to it.
No monthly, not just...
No monthly.
One time,
One time.
hurry now.
And that's not all.